Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio. This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio 99.1 FM.
Good evening, welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Former Finance Minister Winston Jordan has lambasted the administration over what he intimates to be a misleading mid-year financial report, saying despite its lofty account of a 14.5% growth in the country's GDP, the actual growth is closer to less than 0%. Additionally, the reported 14.5% growth rate is not only misleading but means nothing to the average person, since the figures in themselves are misleading. Compounding the situation, the former finance minister, in exposing the deception of being employed in the report, sought to put the numbers in context, pointing out that the 14.5% growth recorded is compared to a 2020 base. He recalled the economic slowdown that impacted the global economy in 2020 as a result of the pandemic. Jordan further pointed to the fact that the non-oil GDP of 4.8% in half a year is the same as the non-oil GDP in 2019. As such, he concluded, and I quote, "You haven't really grown." And now let's tell you, while the PPPC government appears preoccupied with the revenues to be had from various ExxonMobil-led projects, a key report from the American oil giant has warned that there will be significant impact on the nation's marine resources due to the cumulative impact of those oil-related activities. This disclosure was made in the project documents for the Yellowtail development in the Stabroek Block, operated by Esso. The report noted that there are several exploration and development activities planned or are already in operation by Esso. With this in mind, Esso said its plans, together with the other operators, could cumulatively have a significant impact on some resources. It said these impacts include, but are not limited to, air quality and climate, marine water quality, and associated increases in other waterborne articles. And moving on, Neville Chandrawati, the man accused of the murder of gold and diamond dealer Dharamchand Mangra in 2007, has been scheduled to begin trial in the Georgetown High Court next Wednesday. Chandrawati, called Sunil of Sparta, Essequibo Coast, had evaded the police for 6 years after the crime was committed. He was eventually arrested and charged in 2013 for murder. According to reports, in 2007, Chandrawati was employed by the gold dealer as a general manager of the Eldorado Trading in Port Kaituma when he, along with others, planned a robbery on the company. It was reported that during the robbery, Mangra was shot and killed as the robbers escaped with cash and a quantity of raw gold valued at some $93 million. The police reportedly failed to arrest anyone for the robbery up until 2013, when Chandrawati was caught executing another robbery in the gold mines. And moving on, police are yet to institute formal charges against the regional officials fingered in a multi-million-dollar fraud in relation to the supply of dietary items for the Kaieteur school feeding program in Region 8. The issue was raised yesterday during an examination of the region's expenditure by the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee. The period under review was from 2016 to 2017. In 2016, it was discovered that the prices for items purchased were higher than that of similar items purchased by the region from other suppliers. The discrepancy led to a special investigative audit, which was undertaken in 2017. And that probe revealed that the items were overpriced to the tune of $33.663 million. The investigation also revealed that the purchases were made from a particular supplier. As a result of the suspected fraud, the matter was reported to the police and an investigation was launched. Meanwhile, a cancer patient who resides at Herstelling on the east bank of Demerara is now being forced to wear masks in her home as a result of air pollution caused by dust particles permeating the atmosphere as a result of a nearby cement bond. The ailing woman's husband, Fazil Zaman, was ignored for months by the regulatory state body, the Environmental Protection Agency. According to the man, he wrote a letter to the EPA in July of this year, but received no response. The frustrated man said he even visited the Neighborhood Democratic Council in a bid to get some relief for the woman who is presently on treatment. Although he is affected by the noise, Zaman noted that the real issue is the cement pollution. He noted that due to his wife's illness, she also suffers respiratory issues and the cement dust only makes it worse. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you that the file for the permanent secretary attached to the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, 42-year-old Sharon Hicks, who was fingered in a kickback scandal, was last Friday sent back to the Director of Public Prosecutions Chambers for the third time by the police seeking further advice. On October 7th, Hicks was arrested at her Kwamina and Thomas Street's office during a police operation. Following the incident, she was immediately sent on leave, pending the outcome of the matter. The police subsequently sent the case file to the DPP, Shalimar Ali Haq, for legal advice, but the file was sent back for the investigators to make necessary corrections before resending the file to the chambers. On the second occasion when the file was sent to the chambers, the communication officer for the DPP's office, Liz Rahman, said that the file was once more sent to the police for further corrections to be made. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Remember, you can get the full details of these stories and more in today's Kaieteur News.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today